All right, guys, we're going to do our 1-1 and 1-2 review in this video, and I'll try and go quickly. I'm going to do the odd problems on the skills practice worksheet for lesson 1-1. So it says write a verbal expression for each algebraic expression. It gives us the numbers. We have to write it out in words. So here there are two operations. There's multiplication and there's an exponent. So I'm going to say 9 times, and then it's being multiplied by a to the second power, so I'm going to say a squared. Something like that. Perfect, done. In number 3, there are two problems here. Number 3, we have addition and we have multiplication. Okay, so I'm just going to say it in order from left to right. So I'm going to say, just like they do sometimes, a number C, just means C, C represents a number, plus, and then it's not C plus 2 in parentheses times D, it's C plus 2D. So I'm going to say C plus the product of 2 and D. I'm adding C to whatever the number is I get after I multiply this. So C plus the product of 2 and D. Product means I multiplied. Number 3, 2 times, and then exponent, I could say B squared. 2 times B squared. You can't write the little b with the 2. You have to actually write it out in words. The only thing I'm not making you do is spell out numbers. You don't have to write TWO. You can write the number 2. If you want to write TWO, you can, but you do not have to. Okay, next one. I'm going to say, excuse me, the sum of, sum means I'm adding. So what two things am I adding? This guy right here and this guy right here. The word and separates the two things that I'm adding. So I'm going to say P to the 4th power. It means it has a little 4 exponent. And I wouldn't say plus. I already said sum, so I don't have to say plus. I've already accounted for the plus sign. So the sum of P to the 4th power and 6 times R. 6 times R. Or you could say the product of 6 and R, something like that. That would work. Okay, next we have to switch it, and we have to write an algebraic expression for each verbal. And I'm going to do the odd problems here. So I'm going to skip every other one. I'm not going to do 10, 12. If I don't mark them out, I won't pay attention, and I'll end up doing them and making the video longer. All right, number 9. I have the sum of a number and 10. So sum is plus, and an and sign separates the two things that I'm adding. Here's my and sign, so I'm adding this and this. And when it says a number, again, I don't just pick a number. I don't just say, okay, well, 2 plus 10 then. I have to represent an unknown number with a variable. So I could say something like, can you see it up to the side? Yeah, x plus 10. Excuse me. A number plus 10, the sum of a number and 10. Okay, number 11, the product of 18 and q. So I'm just multiplying 18 times q. Product means multiplication, and the word and tells us what we're multiplying, this guy and this guy. What's in front of and what's behind the word and is what I'm multiplying. Number 13, 8 increased by means plus, 3 times a number. So this is just x, a number means a variable, right, an unknown number. And here's multiplication. So we know we're multiplying here. I'll make this different so it looks, so we don't get the x's confused there. So this and this and this. So 8 increased by 3 times a number. And it can be any variable. And lastly, number 15, the product of, so I'm multiplying, and I gotta find the word and. So I'm multiplying this guy times this guy, right? So I'm multiplying 2 and the second power of y. So that's just y squared. Power just means exponent, right? So there you have it. There's lesson 1-1, just translating algebraic to verbal and verbal to algebraic. And let's practice a few order of operation problems for lesson 1-2. So here, evaluate each expression. I'm going to do the odd problems again just to save you a little bit of time. Give you some reference, some problems to kind of go off of. 8 squared means 8 times 8. Whatever the exponent is, that tells you how many times to multiply a number. So 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, 5 to the third power means 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Okay, number 5, I have parentheses and then multiplication. So first I have to solve what's inside parentheses. So that's 9 times 7. And then 9 times 7 is 63. Number 7, I have addition and multiplication. I have to multiply before I divide. Remember PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division. They're actually equal to each other. You don't have to multiply before you divide. Same with addition and subtraction. You don't have to add before you subtract. They're equals. Okay, so here I multiply, and I get 4 plus 18. And then 4 plus 18 is 22. Number 9, first I do parentheses, so that's 8 times 5 plus 1. And I multiply first. 8 times 5 is 40, and 40 plus 1 is 41. Number 11, I have multiplication, subtraction, and addition. I multiply first. So 30 minus 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2. I did that first. And now I have subtraction and addition. For PEMDAS, remember, you don't have to add before you subtract. They're equals. So once that's all I have left, I just solve them in order from left to right. So 30 minus 20 is 10, and 10 plus 2 is 12. Then I have number 13, division, multiplication, subtraction, and exponents. So I got a few there. First, I'm going to change my exponent to a 9. And then I have division, multiplication, subtraction. I know I'm going to subtract last. Division and multiplication are equal operations up here. You don't have to multiply before you divide. They're equals. So I'm going to solve them in order left to right. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. And 10 minus 9 is 1. 15. I have brackets and parentheses. Brackets are just parentheses. They just look different so that you can distinguish where the parentheses are and where the brackets are, okay? So here, I'm gonna solve what's inside these brackets first because it's like parentheses. Within that, I gotta solve what's inside these parentheses. So that's 5. Now I have 30 minus 5 squared, so I have to go ahead and square the 5. So I'm gonna have 5 plus brackets 30 minus 25 because 5 squared is 25. And then I have to finish what's inside the brackets. Put it over here, 5. 30 minus 25 is 5. And then lastly, 5 times 5 is 25. So that's our answer, 25. You got to make sure you follow the order of operations. And then lastly here, we're almost done. All we're going to do is substitute a 6 anywhere we see an X, an 8 anywhere we see a Y, and a 3 anywhere we see a Z for these odd problems. So for number 17, I have X times Y plus Z. So that's 6 times 8 plus 3. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 3 is 51. I'm still using order of operations. Okay, next I have 2 times X, which is 6. I gotta keep going back and looking. Plus 3 times Y minus 3. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 8 is 24. And then I got that minus 3 hanging off the end. And then I just solve in order from left to right. 12 plus 24 is 36. 36 minus 3 is 33. 3 we should have for number 19. So I multiplied first. Once I simplified the multiplication here, then I just solved it in order left to right, adding and then subtracting. Here I have 5 times 3 plus parentheses y minus x, which is 8 minus 6. So first I want to simplify what's inside parentheses. I get 5 times 3 plus 2. 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 plus 2 is 17. Number 23, scoot up a little bit. Number 23, we have x squared, 6 squared, plus y squared minus 10 times z. So that's 36 plus 64 minus 30. Y'all see that? Yeah. 64 and 36 is 100. 100 minus 30 equals 70. And lastly, number 25, down here we have this little, looks like a fraction, but it's division. So we have 8 plus 6 times 3 all over 2. So I have to simplify the top, and then I can divide it by the bottom. This is, when you see a fraction like this, everything on top can be put in parentheses, or everything on bottom can be put in parentheses. So you have to completely simplify the top before you can divide it by the bottom. You have to completely simplify the bottom before you can do anything with the top. Okay, so we've got 8 plus 18 divided by 2. I have to still simplify the top. 8 and 18 is 26 divided by 2, which is 13. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see that. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions on that, and good luck with your assignment this week.